students, we have been seeing about the class 10 chapter 3 metals and non-metals, under which we have seen about the differences between metals and non-metals on the basis of their physical properties. We have completed, okay, that we have finished. Next we are going with the chemical properties of metals, that also we have completed. How that metals react with oxygen, how metals react with water, how metals react with acids, metal salts as well non-metals we have completed. Okay, then we have learnt about that ionic compounds also. When the metals react with the non-metals, we have come to know that the compounds formed are ionic compounds. Now we are going to see the properties of ionic compounds in this. Okay, in this video we'll go with the properties of ionic compounds. Okay, see what are ionic compounds. First let us go with that and then we will go with the properties. Okay, the ionic compounds are the compounds made up of metals and non-metals. This is what we have seen in our last video. Okay, metals and non-metals. Metals loses the loss of electrons happen here. Okay, otherwise we can say it loses their electrons. Here non-metals in turns they gain electrons. There are gain of electrons happens. Because of this metals gain the positive charge. Otherwise, you could say they become electropositive. Here, these become electronegative. Okay, so we can say that metals possess positivity in nature, electropositivity in nature, whereas non-metals possess electronegativity in nature. Because of that formation of ions, they have the tendency to get combined, and then what happens? They become ionic compounds. For example, we have seen about that sodium. The structure is actually 281. Okay, the valence shell electrons are 1 only. Whereas in case of chlorine, it is 288, 287. That it needs 1 electron to get the, otherwise to attain the electronic configuration of the inert gas. Whereas this one, by losing 1 electron, it can get that inert gas configuration. Okay, so what happens? Naturally, this has the tendency to give away electron. This has the tendency to get that electron. So when it gives 1 electron, it becomes Na plus. When it loses electron, it becomes Na plus. When chlorine, that means sodium, I am talking about sodium. Sodium, when it loses electron, it becomes Na plus. Whereas chlorine gains that electron and it becomes 288 configuration. So naturally it becomes Cl minus ion. Okay, so I can write down about this as 28, okay, because it loses 1 electron. Now Na plus and Cl minus, due to the positive and negative charge, they have the tendency to get combined and it becomes NaCl. Okay, this is the reason they are, and NaCl formation is actually a compound of a metal and non-metal, and it is the compound we call it by name ionic compound, as they are formed by the formation of ions and then it gets combined. They get combined, so they are called ionic compounds, right? See, when you are talking about ionic compound, we must know about the other compound. Other compounds are also present in nature. What are they called? Covalent compounds. Okay, so I just talk about a little of it, and then we will go with the nature of the or the properties of the ionic compounds. What do you mean by covalent compounds? The covalent compounds are nothing but they are formed by sharing of electrons, or is the compounds are formed by bonding. Okay, actually the bond, because of the bond only you are getting this ionic compound. So there is a bond, what is called in case of ionic compounds, the bond formed is ionic bond, or else we call them as electrovalent bonds. Okay, so the ionic bond formation over here. But in case of covalent compounds, the bond formation is called covalent bonds. Okay, here this is happening due to, in case of ionic compounds, in case of ionic bonds, the formation of bond is due to transfer of electrons. Transfer of electrons. But in case of covalent compounds, you could see that the formation is due to the sharing of electrons. That's the reason we could say that when you go with the hydrogen has 1 electron in the outermost shell. It needs 1 more electron to get the duplet configuration. So what happens? It naturally combine with another hydrogen, so that both of them are getting the duplet configuration. So that reason they are sharing those 2 electrons, that valence shell electrons are shared up and they get a bond between them. That bond we call it as covalent bond. This is called covalent bond. But the covalent bond is not formed due to the formation of ions, like how it is formed over here. So there is no ions formation over here. So we could say that the differences between, if you need to go with the, we could say that here the formation is due to the ions. There is a force called, what we call it as electrostatic force would be there. But that electrostatic force will not be there in case of covalent compounds. We will have some other forces that we will learn in your higher classes. Okay, but not this electrostatic force. Okay, and also they do not form ions. Because of that, they don't conduct electricity. Whereas these have, or else they are formed due to the formation of ions in between. So they have the tendency to conduct electricity. Okay, and they are highly soluble in only water. But these covalent compounds are soluble only in organic solvents. Okay, so these are the differences. So by knowing the differences, we can bring down the properties of the ionic compounds. Let me write down the properties of ionic compounds now here. The first one is properties. I write it down as properties of ionic compounds. Properties of ionic compounds. I write IC is nothing but ionic compounds. The first one, it is physical nature. Usually, the physical nature, when you talk about the physical state or physical nature, they are usually solid, crystalline in nature. Okay, they are solids and they are hard also. They are very hard. They are solids and they are very hard in nature. And you could say that they have strong, as I told you, there is a strong force of attraction between them. They have a strong force of attraction between them. Is it clear? So the first point we have been learning about the physical nature. They are solids and they are hard in nature and they are having strong force of attraction. Due to which what happened? They are usually, they are having the strong force of attraction. Naturally, they will have more boiling point and more melting point. Okay. And you could say that they are forming due to the positive and negative ions. No. So because of that only this strong force of attraction. So what happened? Naturally the ion formation is there. So conductivity is also possible. So these are one after the other the properties of these ionic compounds we are learning about. Okay. So the physical nature, when you are talking about, they are solids, they are hard in nature and they are generally having strong force of attraction. And also, when they are given pressure, they are brittle in nature. Actually, brittle means they get broken. And this was already discussed about. Brittle in nature means they are able to, once they are made to fall down, they get broken into pieces. Okay, though they are solids and they are hard in nature, but they are brittle in nature. Like how the diamond, coal and whatever that other substances like graphites are all there, no? That non-metallic compounds are there, no? Like that, they are also. Number 2, we'll go with the melting point and boiling point. You know that melting point, just now I told about melting point and boiling point. We can say that these elements are having, these compounds are having strong force of attraction, otherwise you could say, right? They are hard and strong force of attraction. So it is not possible to melt them easily as well. They have and also they cannot be boiled so easily. So they have high boiling point and high melting point. Is it clear? So when you talk about the boiling point and melting point, they are very much high. They are, when you compare to covalent compounds, these covalent compounds are not having that much boiling point and melting point. And also they are not, they are solids of course, but they are not hard in nature. Okay, there is no strong force of attraction. So the just opposite you can learn about it. You can talk about that. Next, the third one we are going to talk about is solubility. The solubility, I told you already, the solubility, they are soluble in water. These ionic compounds are soluble in water. Okay, whereas they are actually polar, these are polar compounds. We call them as polar compounds because they are able to divide it into, or it's get dissociated into positive and negative charges. So they are polar compounds there. Otherwise they are called ionic compounds also. So that they are soluble in polar solvents like water. Okay, whereas organic compounds, they are soluble only in, organic compounds are nothing but they are the covalent compounds. They are soluble only in not in water, but they are soluble in organic solvents only. Now, last one we will go with the conduction of electricity As I told you, they conduct electricity. So when you talk about the conduction of electricity, they are able to conduct electricity. Why? Because they are forming ions when they form compounds. As they are forming ions, like positive ions are formed, electronegative ions are formed, and they get combined due to the attraction between them. There are strong force of attraction, as I told you. They are becoming ionic compounds. So, but you need to write down like this. They conduct electricity, but not in conduct electricity, but they can conduct only in molten state or in the molten state or in liquid solution state, I could say. Once they get dissolved in water, then only, or liquid state. Okay, or it's, you could say, solution. But they don't conduct in the solid state. That we need to be very much clear about it. Because solid state will not conduct electricity. When they are in solid state, they don't conduct electricity. But once it gets fused, they become fused with water, moisture or something, they can conduct electricity. That we call it as molten state. Or when it is dissolved in water, and then they can conduct electricity. Is it clear? These are the properties of the ionic compounds. Hope you have understood, children. Please go through, and we will just go to the next part of the lesson, metallurgy. This year there was revised, syllabus is revised. So the metallurgy part, if it is there, I will continue with the next video. Otherwise, we will go with the next lesson. That is organic compound, or else carbon and its compounds. Thank you.